World War II has always been looked at as a romantic time period by many in my generation. It's why we have so many video games, movies, comic books, etc. based on it. Hey there everyone, this is Ray Carcillo with Classic Game Room, and today we're looking at RUSE from Ubisoft for the Xbox 360, a World War II inspired RTS or real-time strategy game.
The troops are waiting for your orders, Joe.
The basic premise for RUSE is that you assume the role of the fictional Major Joe Sheridan. Joe is a brilliant tactician, but is forced into some hard times in the North Africa campaign of the war, and must use his ingenuity to rally his troops and make a push on the Italians and Germans. Joe amazingly wins battle after battle with his ragtag group, and quickly begins to move up the ranks as the Americans continue on and up into Italy. As the game continues, you'll follow Joe as he continues to be promoted all the way up to a 3-star general, as you play a role in some of the most famous battles of World War II. From storming your own little personal hell on a Normandy beach, to providing air support in Operation Market Garden, you'll move through Italy, France, Holland, and all the way up to Hitler's doorstep over the course of the campaign's 23 chapters.
Destroy target. Rotating turret on target.
Besides the backdrop of World War II, though, there's also Joe's more personal mission. That there is a spy within his ranks, known simply as Prometheus. And it's up to Joe if he's going to flush out every single last Nazi there is. And this, of course, helps to set up the gimmick for RUSE's gameplay, the RUSE system. This system allows the player to perform a variety of different tricks and traps over the course of the game, always, of course, referred to as RUSEs, hence the title. You're going to need these RUSEs to help turn the tides of war in your favor, from something simple like ordering a blitz that speeds up your troops, to the more complicated use of the art of deception, staging a fake offensive, for example, to lure away enemies from a more heavily guarded outpost that is your true target. The RUSE system is a nice nuance to this RTS war game, and will be critical to finishing the campaign mode and making hell for your enemies on Xbox Live. Of course, always remember, whatever RUSEs you can use, so can your enemy.
Building deployment completed.
Besides this system, everything about this game screams average RTS. With a variety of classes and upgrades for buildings and outposts, to the plethora of tanks, planes, and infantry you can use given the current situation. What's nice about all this is there is only one resource to manage as well: cash. It does make the world go round after all, and you'll need it to build all your patented war machines as well as train your infantry. And of course it'll cost a lot more to build something like a Sherman tank compared to a group of regular infantrymen. But each unit will have its own strengths and weaknesses, and you'll need to exploit them all in order to win. For example, infantrymen can set up ambushes in forests or towns, while tanks can only stick to roadways. The game also looks great for an RTS. With the enhanced camera, you can get right above the treetops to maneuver your troops if you'd like, and see the gritty details of the war going on below, and how it's affecting each individual. Or you can pull all the way back to a satellite-like view and see a Risk-type game board, and your soldiers will turn into chips as you maneuver them coldly around the world. I personally prefer something more in the middle, so I can see new threats coming, but not be worried about the tank battalion 10 minutes away from my current position. The voice acting for the game is also pretty good, but not spectacular. I think a few of the actors need to work on their accents, but overall they do a good job in telling the story, along with the gorgeous-looking cutscenes.
Take a look at these photos, Joe. Taken from von Rumsted's HQ. Maps, unit strengths, orders of battle, everything. Sweet.
Even with all these positives, though, there are a couple of problems with RUSE. The controller system, like with most console RTSs, is not as good as if it had been on a PC. I was constantly misselecting troops and had a hard time getting them to change orders if they were still carrying another one out. War always has constantly evolving battlefields, and this game was no different. So it was hard for me to not be able to turn my troops around and watch helplessly as they walked right into a trap. Another problem I had with the game was the fact that if you could establish air superiority, the game was over. No matter what the other players or CPU did, if you built 2 or 3 airstrips and got your bombers going, you could rain death on him before he'd ever have a chance to respond. This loophole made the game much easier at some points than it should have been, because I would just build 2 bomber squadrons, send them on mad dashes to the enemy's base, and boom! I'm the winner.
The target has been destroyed, General.
Besides the campaign and online multiplayer, there are also game modes where you can take on the computer with different countries, set in different war eras, for more of a challenge where you can take on the CPU in predetermined scenarios and see if you can outsmart an already heavily fortified opponent. There may have been a couple of controller problems, as to be expected with a console RTS, and a couple of strategy loopholes, but overall this game will probably give you a solid 25 to 30 hours if you go through all the game modes, and is definitely worth a buy for any RTS fans. We've been watching RUSE on the Xbox 360, but it's also available on the PS3 and PC.
One more AT delivered. Only 2 left to go.